if you like our videos, please like and subscribe. That way this chonky boy can eat more this month. Isn't that right, buddy? God, you even know where the camera is. You're such a little... Alright, ladies and gents. Welcome to the channel if this is your first time here, and if you do enjoy, like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good shit. And you're back from the pack. Welcome back. We appreciate your support. And today we're doing a bit of something different for the channel. I saw a very interesting tweet chain today, and I thought I'd give this a bit of a look because a certain someone named, let me see if I can bring this up here, Uncanny Carlos made a prediction of the Kameo fighters that might be seen in Mortal Kombat 1. Very exciting stuff, kind of cute. However, Ed Boon replied, saying it's uncanny how many he got right with a little winky face. So, we have a roster of potential fighters here, and with that in mind, we're gonna take a look at these and see what we can figure out here as to who's most likely to show up. Now, we go from the top corner here, go right across, and just see who's the most likely, and who might be showing up and who might not be showing up. First on the list is Chameleon. This character, I can't remember if their only appearance was in Armageddon, but I do remember them in Armageddon. There was two of them. There was a male ninja version and a female ninja. Both were cool. As you'd move around the arena, they'd kind of have like this this rainbow shimmer effect on their translucent body and stuff like that. It was kind of cool, and they could mimic the moves of some of the other the colored ninjas, which is kind of cool. I think probably wouldn't see Chameleon ever back in a main roster role, like as a main roster in the story kind of thing. I don't see that being ever the case. So a cameo fighter very well could happen. Ed Boon even said in an interview, actually, recently, that the 3D era characters, we're going to see a return of a lot of those. We're going to see a huge 3D era resurgence in this game. And leading into the next character here, who I didn't even know who the fuck this was. I had to go like on a deep dive search to figure out who this was. But if I'd say in terms of Chameleon showing up in cameos, quite likely. I would say more likely than a main roster role, showing up as one of these, I think like 24 cameos or something like that. How many of these fuckers are there? 3, 6, 9, 12. Yeah, 24. Okay, I was right. But moving on, we have this guy, which, fuck, I can't remember the name of them off the top of my head, but Ed Boon also said in this interview that characters who previously were not playable would be making return in cameo form to be playable, which, honestly, I don't think that's a super huge list of characters, if I'm not mistaken. Because I think most of the people in Mortal Kombat have been playable. There's only, like, a handful that haven't. So. But this guy here, again, can't remember the name, but apparently he showed up in some of Shao Kahn's moveset in MK11, and he did like attack boosts and shit, but he's also been in the background of arenas in previous games. Which, okay, sure. I'd say there's no fucking way they make this a cameo, though. Like, really, you're gonna waste a cameo spot, one of the 24, on some background nothing character who hasn't had a name, hasn't had any sort of interest in them whatsoever. Just a fucking hooded dude. I I'm sorry, but that's reaching. That's a stretch. Moloch, though. Moloch, I could absolutely see as a cameo as well. 100%. With the 3D era characters getting highlighted, with the fact that he is basically a boss character, or was like treated as a boss character in Armageddon because of his fucking size, I could easily see him being much like with Goro that you see in the reveal trailer. I could definitely see him being a cameo dude, just a little bit smaller than his normal guy. But he comes in and goes swinging his fucking his fucking chain ball hand and fucking does the little howl thing that he fucking did. I could, yeah, I could definitely see Moloch coming back in a cameo capacity, 100%. Main roster, no. I mean, he's just such a big fucking dude. Like, he'd be Goro sized, but they even sized down Goro for this, so I don't know. I don't even think they're putting Goro in the main roster, if I'm being perfectly honest here. Like, it seems like they may relegate him to just a cameo. Unless they just, like, completely come out of nowhere and fucking out of left field and put Goro in the game. But I feel like they're using the main roster slots for more, like, I feel like the main characters in the game are going to be more like they're going to have more agency. I would argue to a certain degree, because it seems to me that Liu Kang is gathering all these fighters for something. And you have the Katana Melina story going on in the background. You have Shang Tsung going on. So, like, you've got all these moving pieces. And I don't think that they'd waste a main character slot on a character like Moloch or Goro when they could be doing some more interesting ideas, like making, say, like, for example, not putting Kano in the main roster, but doing like Movado or something like that, and giving some new, or like rather than Cabal, maybe, and putting Movado or something like that, something where they're switching up the main roster with new 3D era characters that will be critical to the story in ways that the original characters were, but because they're different characters, they function differently in those scenarios. Like, could be that we don't even get Shao Kahn as a main villain in this game and only get him as a cameo. It could be that, and like we could see General Reiko being the main threat or something, right? Like, you never know. But Shang Tsung seems to be, he's definitely not the main bad, but he's gonna be the step up to the main bad. I would say he's definitely gonna be a huge part of it. Kind of like Shao Kahn, where it was the pre-order bonus from MK11, and he played a huge part in the story, but he was a lackey for Kronika, right? I feel like they're doing a similar thing with Shang Tsung. But to conclude, Moloch, I'd say likely for a cameo slot. Uh, this fucking guy. Uh, Suhao, I think it is. I could see him being a cameo. He was clowned on and memed on for the longest fucking time, but I think the what I had heard from many people were like, they're getting a soft spot for Suhao. They're like starting to accept him a bit more, and just realize that he was wasted potential, and they just did a shit job with what could have been a decent idea. Like, he'd need a complete overhaul, but he could work, is kind of the thing that I've been hearing. Um, that all being said, as a cameo fighter, I could see him showing up as a cameo fighter. Main roster, I think they'd need to make a lot of changes to him, and since he's got like a stigma from people who don't know a lot about him, but the people that do know a lot about him know that he's not like the greatest, but see the potential there. If they don't try to go with that, I could see them using him as a cameo fighter, just as a like, we brought back Su Hao, now you can throw him into the fight kind of thing, as like an appeasal to those people. Like, hey, we brought him back. We brought Su Hao back as a fucking cameo. He's not main. He's not main roster. He's not gonna be in the story or anything. But you can have him fight along Sub-Zero, or Raiden, or whatever the fuck, right? I could absolutely see them bring him back as a cameo fighter. 100%. Main roster, fuck no. There's not a chance in hell. I really don't think they would. They could surprise me though. I'd say there's a very high likelihood he would be one of the cameo fighters. Especially the way that they've been teasing the cameo fighters too, is that they're a mix of characters who haven't been playable before, are nods to their past games, specifically to their original games as well too. Like, I could see them doing that. So in terms of these four so far, Chameleon, Moloch, Su Hao, I could see them being definitely. Kun Lao we saw in the trailer. Like, we straight up saw him in the trailer. We don't need to talk more about that. Same with Kano, Sonya, and Jax. They're all fucking confirmed. They're literally in this image from the game, and we saw them in the trailer. So yeah, they're all good. Also, I'm liking how the new actress for Sonya. Not gonna lie, nothing against uh uh fuck, I completely forget the name of the goddamn fighter that voice acted and portrayed Sonya in MK11. Ronda Rousey, that's the one. Yeah, nothing against her, but this looks a lot more like Sonya. This immediately screams Sonya to me. This is probably one of the best character designs for Sonya that NRS has done. If I'm gonna be honest, because she's kind of been not in the face, especially not designed very well at all in the NRS games. The the original like sort of series though, they like, and even up until I think even Armageddon did an okay job with their character design, but this is like peak Sonya. This is chef's kiss. That looks amazing. It's pixelated as fuck on my screen, but in the footage, like, you can see the detail pretty well there. Like, that's a they did a really good job. Jax has got a really good actor too for his facial model. It kind of reminds me like, oh, who the fuck does that remind me of? That reminds me of like an actual actor. Yeah, I can't place it. I cannot place it. But he's definitely giving me the vibes of like someone there. But yeah, those three are confirmed. We don't need to talk about them too much. Shinnok as a cameo fighter. I definitely don't think they're going to use him in the main story again. I really don't think they're going to use him, because they're going right back to Mortal Kombat 1. Although, I guess that would depend on how long the campaign is, because with MK9, they went through Mortal Kombat 1, 2, 3, and 4. No, no, yeah, just 1, 2, and 3 in the span of one game, and then MKX covered 4, but the variation on 4 with, most of Earthrealm's champions being already fucking dead. So, I don't see him being main roster. Cameo in like his classic, like the bright ass blue fucking robes and the big high boots and the original crown. I could totally see them bring back like Shinnok in that form. That would be interesting. Fucking in the middle of a scorpion fucking get over here combo, his skeletal hand reaches up, grabs him, and you just slap him into another air combo. Like, that would be pretty cool. That'd be pretty cool, because Shinnok's been kind of done dirty in a lot of recent recent adaptations of him. Because he was pretty fucking cool in the original game series. I'm not gonna lie. I did play him for a good bit in Armageddon as a kid because I just like the skeleton hand moves that like he goes that and then the skeleton hand just fucking comes out of the ground and rockets across the arena, grabs the dude and holds him in place. Like, he's got some cool shit. He's got some cool abilities and the big skeletal hands and shit that he can use. Like, it's fun. It's very fun, but he's been kind of made a joke. See him as a cameo fighter would be fun though. I would like that. Goro we had confirmed as a cameo fighter. No need to talk about him. He was literally in the trailer for an extended period too. He had a long attack animation there, just a boom, 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 boom. Like, out of all the cameo fighters, I think he's probably going to be one of the strongest just based on raw damage output. Because, like, god damn. He did not fuck around when he was on screen. But yeah, Goro's confirmed. So far, I'd say the only only ones that are a bit in contention would be, this is a definite no. Olok is a maybe. Suhao, I could pretty much guarantee Ed Boon being like, yeah, let's throw him in there for the community. Shinnok is also a maybe, so I'd say like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6, 7 confirmed. Shao Kahn, if they don't use him in main story, which that's the thing. That's the interesting thing about this new universe or this new timeline that Liu Kang created. It seems like he didn't just straight up delete a lot of the evil characters because Shang Tsung returned, which means maybe Shao Kahn can return. Unless we get like fucking Onaga or something, that'd be crazy. But if they don't use him in main story capacity, I could see a classic Shao Kahn coming into the game. I could absolutely see that, yeah. As a cameo. Because actually, come to think of it, with MK11, he's not even part of the main roster at all. He's a DLC that you have to buy, or would have had to get from pre-ordering the game initially. So he's not even main roster, but he's in the game. So, I mean, if they bench him for another game, I could see them using him as a cameo. I could absolutely see that. That is interesting, though. I am now realizing. Mortal Kombat 11 had its main boss character not be unlockable or playable in any form. Because at least Shinnok was playable in MKX, and you could play Shao Kahn and Shang Tsung in MK9, and they were DLCs for MK11. Eurus is the only boss-like character you can play in MK11. Yeah, huh. Interesting. So yeah, maybe they make him a cameo. I'm not entirely sold on it though. Maybe they just make him sit out again. I don't know. Lovato. I would say if they don't make him main roster and fill the Kano role of the game, like as the head of the Black Dragons, I could see him 100% being a cameo fighter. Because Movado was pretty big in terms of the 3D era characters. When I remember, he was a very interesting design too, with his fucking like long ass trench coat and his hook swords, which later I think Cabal took or something like that. I can't remember the exact lore of it, but yeah, he's kind of a cool character. I could see him. I could see him being fun. I think. Oh wait, didn't Movado was he the run one with like a grappling hook in one of the games? You could fucking grapple someone and then kick like pull yourself over and kick them. Yeah, that would be fun. That would be a fun combo ability. I could absolutely see that. So, Lovato, I'd say he deserves a cameo spot at the very least. Then we go to this corner. Tremor. Hmm. He's only been in like one game, hasn't he? He's only been in MKX. And not only that, he was a DLC for MKX, was he not? So either I could see them definitely making him a cameo, 110%. That would be a fun cameo character, or or they make him a main roster character, right? And they can change him up a bit. They can do some things. They can make him part of the ninja crew with Scorpion and Sub Zero, or they can make him part of the Outworld crew. Which I think they'll probably bring back Reptile in this game. He sat out for MK11, and I could see him definitely coming back in this one. So him and Tremor, and like what's like some of the more like dubious ones. I could see them teaming up. That'd be an interesting. Plus, Shang Tsung's returning this game, and it'd be fun to actually see Shang Tsung's bodyguard be his bodyguard. That'd be good. Reptile, that is, not Tremor. Tremor, I could see coming back as a cameo though, but I'm not sure if they would do that. In fact, actually, if Reptile's not on here, no, it doesn't look like. If Reptile doesn't show up in main roster capacity, I'd say Tremor's spot here should absolutely 100% go to Reptile. Because having the original roster of ninjas being cameo fighters in this game would be perfect. Reptile, Sub Zero, Scorpion, maybe even Ermac, all those would be perfect. Those would be fucking awesome. Because they're already doing all these classic designs for all these cameo fighters, so that would be fun. And they've already confirmed that Sub Zero is one of them. Not Sub Zero. That Scorpion's also one with Sub Zero as well. So, like, you have the potential there. You have the potential. And plus, Reptile sat out a game, so it should definitely be one. Tremor, though, maybe. I'm not entirely sold on it, though. Motaro, though. This has huge potential to be a cameo fighter. I'd say that this is a very, very likely option here. Why? He wasn't really playable. Because he was playable, I believe, in Armageddon, but he only had 2 legs. He wasn't his full Motaro version with his fucking 4 horse. You know what? I'm gonna double check that. I'm gonna double check that. Was he ever playable? Dude, I fucking do it. I fucking do it. Sub boss in Mortal Kombat 3. Mortal Kombat Deception, he made a cameo. He made a cameo in Mortal Kombat Chain. He was a playable sub-boss in Mortal Kombat Armageddon. But I do believe in that game, as I said, he only had 2 legs, so he technically wasn't really Motaro. And then you had MK11 and MK9, where he was an NPC in MK9, and he made some appearances in the story, but I never fought. Then MK11, he also made a little cameo at one point. I think he had a mention or something like that. It also says on the wiki here that in the first timeline, he was formerly a Centaurian turned into a Minotaur because he lost the other half of his legs. Now, wouldn't it be fun to have a cameo fighter of Motaro that has all 4 of his legs and does all the shit that he did in Mortal Kombat 3? I think that would be hype as fuck. I think that would be super fucking cool, and I'd say that that is a huge likelihood, and probably what Ed Boon meant by non-playable characters. Is that some of these sub-bosses that you're able to fight but not play are probably going to come back in cameo capacity. This being one of them. I'd say that you could probably guarantee Motaro will be a cameo. I can almost guarantee he would. Moving on to Draman. Draman's a fun guy. I played him a bit in Armageddon. He's interesting. Him and Moloch usually pair together. So I think it would be fun if one of Draman or Moloch was main roster, so that the other could be a cameo, and then you could play as the pair of them because they always like work together. I think that'd be super cool. And out of the 2, I'd say the most likely to be on the main roster would be Draman, because he's a visually very interesting looking character. He's got a very cool design. He's got very weird aesthetic to him, and I believe he's got some interesting lore. He's a... the fuck is he? Isn't Oni, or is the... is Moloch the Oni? I can't remember. I'm pretty sure Moloch's the Oni, actually. No, I was right. Draman's an Oni. Oh, no, they were both Oni. No, I was totally right. Yeah. Yeah, they're both Onis. The difference is that Moloch is based on, like, traditional Onis, and then you've got Draman, who's a bit different. Oh, I didn't realize they showed up in Mortal Kombat X. What the fuck? But yeah, he's super cool. He's got, like, the fucking spike ball hand. He's got the, like, blade skin look to him. The very interesting design for the mask, which is called the face of Kun Lo. Like, he is a pretty cool, very visually striking character, and I could absolutely see him showing up as, hopefully, a main roster character, because he showed up in Deadly Alliance. Made a cameo in Deception. He was in Armageddon. Like, they've brought him back a few times. Even had a little cameo in MK11, I think, too, by the looks of it. Yeah. Oh yeah, he was a sub boss in Deadly Alliance too. Uh, Moloch, meaning. Yeah, I could absolutely see, like, Draman should be main roster, I think, as like one of the new Outworld servant guys, kind of like Aaron Black or Reptile or Tremor or any of those guys, right? Or even Ferrotor would be another example. Strawman can be like one of those dudes, but for Netherrealm and as like a servant to Outworld, as an emissary from Netherrealm, kind of thing. Like he'd be a very interesting character. Yeah, he is he actually was from Outworld 2 originally before going to Netherrealm for his crimes. And then he became the Oni Tormentor. Dude is dude's cool. Dude's pretty fucking cool. I think he would be more likely main roster in that sense. They could do a lot of interesting things with him, I think. Whereas Moloch is more of a definitely cameo style character. I don't think they'd make him main roster. Up next, we have Striker, who was also confirmed in this classic look in the trailer as well. So that's a guarantee, 100%. Devora. They definitely shouldn't put her main roster. She's been in 2 games in a row. Most people don't like her. She killed Scorpion in the last game by some bullshit where she should have been captured or executed, but she wasn't, which is why she was allowed to kill Scorpion in the first place. But as a cameo, yeah, I could see them bringing her back as a cameo because it seemed like NetherRealm liked using her to kill off fan favorites. So I feel like they like her. I feel like there's a section of the fan base that also likes her, so I feel like it's not out of the realm of possibility for them to bring her back as a cameo. Definitely not entirely out of the realm of possibility. I'd say that's probably the most likely of the MKX, MK11 characters to return as a cameo, because they're probably not going to pull a lot of them as cameos. I would say I think they're going to leave those games alone for now and try to focus on the beginning of the timeline again and the beginnings of Mortal Kombat, which is why they're going back to all these classic costumes. So Devora, maybe, as being like the one, but I don't see very many others. Scorpion and Sub-Zero, confirmed, basically in these costumes, I would say too, is like guaranteed just the original pair. Like, no brainer. Noob. Cybot. Maybe. Because he was in the original games. And I mean it's very unlikely that they're gonna use Noob in main story. Because they have Bihan as like working alongside everyone right now and not kind of causing shit. Or at least in the trailers so far. Maybe he does later on in the story, but I don't see them making him Noob in this game at the very least. But they could surprise me as a cameo if that's the case, though. Absolutely, absolutely, I could see him being one of the original ninjas in the cameo form, guaranteed. A bull ride show. That is, hmm. I almost feel like he should be main roster, not cameo. I'd actually argue he should be main roster. Because he showed up temporarily in MKX, and then he showed up as a DLC character. He's the one that trained Liu Kang, or one of the people that trained Liu Kang. And he hasn't been in a game in quite a while. In like a main capacity, anyways. And you're going back to the roots of Mortal Kombat. You're going through all these training sections for their new fighters. like bring Kenshi and everyone to the Shaolin Temple to train with Raiden and everyone. Why wouldn't Bo Raicho be there? Why wouldn't he be also training people? And why wouldn't Liu Kang bring his mentor back? I feel like he's definitely more suited for a main role in the story, a main slot. Cameo maybe, but I would say more likely role, not this. Is that fucking mocap? Yo, if they put mocap in the game as a fucking cameo fighter, that'd be such a so fucking stupid. The cameo, oh my god, mocap's dumb, silly, and ridiculous and all. But he didn't really have much of a move set in in Armageddon. He just kind of fucking just flailed about. Like he did not do shit. He didn't really fight well against anyone, for what I remember. But it's been a while, so maybe I'm wrong. But I feel like mocap as a skin, like as I've heard some people say for like Johnny Cage or something, that would be a good idea. That would be fun. That would be cool. Um, as a full cameo character or playable character, I don't think so. I think that's pretty silly. But as a skin, that'd be fine. Like that's not a problem at all. But as a full character, that's a bit much. Cassie Cage, a cameo fighter. Um, I I don't know. I wouldn't say so. I wouldn't say that she's likely. Like she was in the last two games. She had a big role in the last game. I don't think they want her in a cameo spot. Especially if they're trying to harken back to more of their older games, 3D era games. I'd say it's less likely for anything in the past three games to show up. I'd say that's pretty unlikely. So, but if they really, really wanted one of the combat kids, I'd say choose Takeda instead. Takeda was so much fucking cooler with his like whips, and I played the shit out of him in MKX. Plus, he was Kenshi's son, actually, if I'm not mistaken. His last name's Takahashi. And not only that, but he was trained by Scorpion. And you know who's also in this game? Kenshi's in this fucking game. So I'd say Takeda would be a more fun addition to the roster of the cameo fighters as the combat kid representative, rather than Cassie. Because think about it, you could pair up Scorpion with Takeda. Get over here, he comes out with his fucking whip moves and starts juggling them around. You pull him down with your whip, your fucking get over here move again. You then juggle into another whip attack. Like that sounds hype as fuck. Or you play him with Kenshi. You did the double Kenshi thing. Start whipping around with Takeda. You start closing in this arena so that no matter where they move, they just get hit by something, whether it's you, your spirit, or Takeda's whip. Like that would be hype. That'd be cool. This, maybe, but probably not. And then I think this is Ferrator. Um, yeah, maybe cameo, but I don't know. They did sit them out a game, and which I would just goes further to argue with Takeda is that for some reason they sat him and Fujin out, or not Fujin, Kunjin. Very similar names. So I got confused. But yeah, Kunjin and Takeda took a seat out in MK11 for some reason. Uh, and Ferratora did as well. So I mean, as a cameo, maybe I could see it, but wouldn't be the end of the world if they weren't there. I'd say that they could put in probably put in a few good options here. Actually, what's a good well, you know who let me give you some options for some cameos here. Let me give you some options here. Havoc would be fucking hype. Like the Chaos Realm, Cleric of Chaos, the dude who caused a bunch of shit in the MKX comics, if I'm not mistaken. Like he fucked him around a lot in the comics, actually. And he's got a really cool design, and he had some cool movesets too, if I'm not mistaken. It's like Havoc would be really cool. Reiko as our main role, I think he'd be more accurate. Uh, Lee May and some of the like Quan Chi uh supporter dudes, uh like Serena and Natara and stuff like that. Those could be cameos. Ashra would be a good one. Uh, though they could also make her main roster too. That wouldn't be a bad idea. Hotaru, if you put Havoc in there as a cameo or main role, I think Hotaru would also be a good choice because he's from Order Realm and his pretty much exact counterpart. Shujinko would be a valid cameo. Main role would be pretty awesome as well, I think. But yeah, that's just some of my thoughts as to who you could swap in for some of the people that are a little less likely here. But yeah, that's this for you. That is the whole cameo roster thing. I think that most of these are likely. Most of these are pretty likely. And of what Ed Boon had said about what's it called? What Ed Boon said about this being pretty uncanny with uncanny, which is kind of funny because his name is Uncanny Carlos. But as to how many of these are actually correct, I'd say that we're on to something here. We might be looking at a good number of our cameo fighters, but hopefully we'll see a lot more of those in the coming months here towards games release, which I'm very hyped for and cannot wait to play. I'm very hyped to play Kenshi again. It's been too long, too long. I'm ready to bust some ass as Kenshi again. Let's go, boys. But anyways, hope you all enjoyed, and until next time,